In the description box below this video is a link where you can download my Excel spreadsheet with my cheat sheet for week 6 of college football, October 2nd through October 4th, 2025. This cheat sheet, Excel spreadsheet, has unique data not available anywhere else that will give you an advantage. So look in the description box below the video, click the link, and it will take you to my Google Drive. There, you will find my Excel spreadsheet. To download the spreadsheet, go to File, Download, Excel. You can also view the spreadsheet on the Google Drive online. So let's look at this Excel spreadsheet. We're going to do several things in this video. First, I'm going to give you an overview of this Excel spreadsheet. Then I'm going to discuss where I got this data from. And then I'm going to discuss how to use this in a comprehensive strategy for producing picks with a higher advantage and probability of success. So on this spreadsheet, the first column is the index number of the games. So there is a total of 51 games, and I've numbered them from 1 to 51. And then you have the top team here is going to be the road team, and then you have the home team. So game 2 road, game 2 home. The next column has the names of the teams. Column C, the third column, has the actual point spreads from Vegas and other sports books like DraftKings. So that these point spreads are as of September 29th, 2025. Next, what I have here in this next group here, columns E, F, and G, is data that I extracted from ESPN's website, specifically the SP Plus power ratings from Bill Connelly. So I'll explain this later in the video more. But basically, I get the power ratings, which tell you how good the teams are. From these power ratings, I calculate a point spread, and then I compare the point spread from the ESPN number to the Vegas number, and then I look for a difference. And we see here in this New Mexico State game, there's a difference of 10 points. That's a significant deviation from the Vegas point spread. Now this next group of numbers, the ones in blue, are from another power rating, also from ESPN, called FPI, the Football Power Index. Same thing here, the Football Power Index is a rating system for each of the college teams, or how good are they, compared to each other. Then I calculate a point spread based on this FPI. Then I compare this point spread to the Vegas point spread. So the ones in red are where there's a deviation of 3 points or more. So in these situations, when you see these deviations, sometimes you see a negative and sometimes you want a positive. Positive is good. So when you see these red positive deviations, these are good deviations which favor that specific team. So in the case of New Mexico State, they're going to be their game 1, they're at home. According to this ESPN SP Plus power rating, there is ESPN's S Plus power rating rates them 10 points higher than Vegas does. So there's a 10-point advantage based on this number. According to FPI, it's a 3.7 advantage. So it's worth taking a look. And in the final column, I have the opponent. The reason being is if you're looking at a specific line, if you're sorting it based on different columns, you're going to have all the information that you need in one column. For example, what I have here is if you look at the boxes, in the lower right corner of each box is a little arrow. So when you click that arrow, you can sort from largest to smallest. Now when you do that, it will sort these games and it'll tell you, okay, wow, New Mexico State, there's a deviation of 10.4 points. And they're playing Sam Houston, and so that's why I have the opponents here. San Diego State, 9.8. Now if we want to sort based on the FPI power index, go here, sort largest to smallest. And then we see here Memphis, Memphis, betting on Memphis, you're going to get an advantage of 6.9, which also corresponds to the SP Plus deviation. So the SP Plus and the FPI are not always the same, even though they're both from ESPN. So now if you want to reset everything, go to the first column, click this, and sort from A to Z. And what that does is it resets all the games. And there's 51 games. So now let me go into the sources of information. But bottom line, the numbers that you're going to go with is you're going to look at the teams, the point spreads, the difference. You want red, you want positive numbers, you want it to be red, and you want it to be larger. So 10 is better than 3. And so this is for SP Plus, and you have FPI. It's great if both of them line up, but if I have to choose one, I choose the SP Plus as probably the most accurate power rating outside of Vegas, and I'll explain why. So let's go into the where I got this information. So okay, ESPN. This is we're talking about week 6, and that's week 6 is from October 2nd through October 4th, 2025. All right. So if you go to NCAAF, go to rankings. Under rankings, you have several options: SP Plus and Football Power Index. Now these ratings are not the same as these opinion polls. So the SP Top 25 and the Coaches Poll, these are polls, opinion polls. They don't necessarily correspond with data analytics. Okay, and so that's where these discrepancies. So Vegas's numbers, the opinion of the of sports writers and coaches, and these power index numbers are not the same, and so they give you you're looking for discrepancies. So anyway, so go to rankings. Let's first go to Football Power Index. So when you go to Football Power Index, you go to the ESPN website. Here, FPI is the Football Power Index, and this is the column that you're looking at. And this is where I extracted the numbers. So based on this, Oregon's number 1, Ohio State's number 2, Alabama's number 3. It's different than the rankings, where Alabama's number 10. There's this ESPN website here has a lot of very useful information. Projected wins, they tell you how much this rank is actually the Football Power Index ranking, how much they've gone up and down. They also have a resume, and the resume number that's probably the most useful is this SOR, strength of record. That's how well their record looks so far. So Texas A&M has the best record so far, considering the strength of the opponents. And they also have efficiencies based on offense, defense, and special teams. So they actually break it down into components: offense, efficiency, defense, efficiency, and special teams. But to make things simple, I focused on the FPI number. And if you go down to the bottom, it explains to you what this FPI number is. FPI, Football Power Index, measures teams' true strength on net point scale, expected point margin versus average opponent on a neutral field. ESPN also has an explanation here that the Football Power Index is very similar to the Vegas system. It says here, if Vegas ever published their power ratings it uses to set point spreads, it would likely look a lot like the Football Power Index. So it's a good number. I think it's a good independent number. So now what's the SP Plus number? The SP Plus number is a number calculated by an ESPN writer named Bill Connelly. So Bill Connelly has an MBA. His background's in data analytics. I followed him for many years when he was a writer for SB Nation, where he did very, very detailed data analytics on college football teams. I'd read his post, and he's a genius in this particular area. And then a few years ago, ESPN hired him to write articles and to do these calculations. He's written several books on college football. He has a Twitter account. So I like to know, the reason why I like the SP Plus number is I like to know the person behind the methodology. And Bill Connelly is a person that I feel his numbers have some authority. So every week, For example, every week, the Sunday, he routinely, Sunday after Saturday's games, he publishes his update SP Plus numbers. And the number here is the rating. So I extracted these rating numbers and I put it into the spreadsheet. He also has offense, defense, and special teams. So that's where I got these numbers. Okay, so now the order, in terms of the game order, I got that from VegasInsider.com. So from VegasInsider.com, I basically extracted the games in this order. So these games correspond in terms of their sequence to this website. So Sam Houston is the first game, and then Sam Houston is going to be the first game that you see here. And you see here, what you see here is the point spread is minus 2.5 for Sam Houston. So minus 2.5 means that Sam Houston is the road favorite. Now, the way to use this information is, one is if you're looking at the point spread, the deviations from the ESPN power ratings. Also, it's good to look at when you click on a specific team on VegasInsider.com, it has a history of their games. And you want to see what the point spreads were in the past, and it tells you here if they covered or not. So if it says here 1 under results, that means they won the game. But under ATS, which means against the spread, this means that they covered the point spread. So Sam Houston, in their last game, no, Texas. This is Texas's schedules. So Texas, in their last game, they played against Sam Houston. The point spread was minus 39.5. They won the game 55-0, and they covered the point spreads because they won by 55 points, and they covered the point spread of 39.5. So they covered by 15.5 points. So you want to see if they covered the point spread and by how much that they covered. Also, too, is you want to look at the strengths of the teams that they played against. So Ohio State was the toughest team that they played against. They lost by a touchdown. So it's especially if they're playing against quality teams, it gives you a lot more information. Also, I would have to say that as the team progresses, they tend to get better. So you want to look at the information from the more recent weeks. You should weight more strongly. So let's say a team starts slow, but they're hot now, then you have to consider that. So, I mean, the team, especially at the end, some teams at the end of the season are much better than they are at the beginning of the season. Some teams are worse. So more recent information is useful. You also want to check injuries. So covers.com has an injury thing. And by the way, I'll put the links to all these sites in the description box below. You want to check injuries. These injuries are not as accurate as the NFL injuries, but they do provide information. If you want to really research injuries, you want to wait till maybe Friday evening, and then or the evening before the game, and then you can look at local news sources. For example, as Alabama, if you look at Alabama news sources or Tuscaloosa news sources, they'll provide more detailed information about injuries than you will get from these injury reports or from like national news sources like ESPN. Okay, so going back to this, let me show you this online spreadsheet version. You can also sort on this page too. So this is on the Google Drive. It has little arrows, and you can also sort here. You can also sort you're going to have to sort, and then click OK. And that allows you to sort the games too. So going back to the Excel spreadsheet here, so basically the setup is this. So this is game 1. The top team is the road team. The bottom team is the home team. The point spread is this. New Mexico is a home underdog plus 2.5. Okay. ESPN, Bill Connelly's power ratings for New Mexico State is minus 18.7. Sam Houston is 23.6. I added 3 points to the home team, and then what you do is you subtract these two numbers, the numbers of the two teams, and then you add 3 to the home team. Then the favored team will get the minus. So Sam Houston is favored minus 10.4. That means Sam Houston needs to win by more than 10.5. Basically, they need to win by 11 points to cover the spread. So if New Mexico State loses, but loses by 10 or less, then they cover that spread. But if you see here, there's a difference between the Vegas point spread. 7.9 is the point spread. So New Mexico State is plus 2.5, but according to the calculations, the point spread should be minus 7.9. So New Mexico State is actually getting bonus points of 10.4. And then similar idea with FPI. So just to clarify here, subtract these two numbers, add 3 to the home team. That gives you the point spread. And then comparing this point spread to the Vegas point spread, that's the specific number, and this is the opponent. So basically, you can look at the selection process in stages. So one stage is step 1. You can look at these specific games and look at these deviations. Okay, I'm going to look at New Mexico State because they're getting plus 10 bonus points, plus 3.7 bonus points based on ESPN's power rating calculations, right? Then you look at the you look at their team record. How have they performed recently? How have they performed against quality teams? Did they cover, and how much did they cover? You also want to check injuries. Then you also want to consider, we'll call them human factors or psychological factors. Rivalry games. Are they at home? In the case of Florida State, that was a classic trap game. They even addressed it afterwards because they're playing Miami. They played Virginia on the road on Friday night, but then their follow-up game is on Miami. It's very common in college for teams to look ahead to the big game and then take the team that they're currently playing in that week for granted. That's a trap game, and they got trapped. They lost to Virginia. So these kind of factors actually play a role a lot more than you will see in the NFL, because in the NFL they're professionals. They're dedicated to, that's the only thing they do. They don't go to school, and then they're more focused. So you tend to get a little bit more consistent play at the NFL level. But you have to consider these factors, and then as you learn, and they can play a role in what the final outcome is. So check out my channel. So this week I plan on publishing or posting some more college football videos, NFL videos, as well as MLB baseball videos. The playoffs have started in the MLB.